If you haven't heard by now, Clash Royale is facing its biggest player backlash. Thousands are deleting the app, skipping the Pass Royale, and even Supercell partners are boycotting the game. Social media is flooded with posts tearing the game apart, and it's all coming to a head after 2 years of growing pay-to-win mechanics. The breaking point, the dev team slashed the value of both the Pass Royale and Diamond Pass while doubling the cost of evolutions. On top of that, key progression systems like chests and the season shop have sadly been removed, making fair progression nearly impossible. Meanwhile, Clash of Clans is thriving with one of its best collabs yet, this time teaming up with WWE for the perfectly timed Clash Mania event, featuring new temporary troops, clan-based rewards, and fresh progression-focused challenges. If it isn't obvious yet, the contrast between the two games couldn't be clearer. One team is actively supporting and evolving their game, while the other is milking it for money. Unsurprisingly, the strategy is backfiring for Clash Royale, as Clash of Clans has secured its spot in the top 10 grossing mobile games of all time, while Clash Royale is now getting outperformed by even Heyday. If you think this is the first time that pay-to-win updates like this have impacted Clash Royale, then you are in for a journey, because these unfair updates date back years ago. Level 13 used to be the max level for all cards in Clash Royale. It was costly to reach, so Supercell introduced events to ease the grind, like Slash Royale, which cut upgrade costs in half, similar to Clash of Clans' Hammer Jam. Alongside it was Gold Rush, offering extra gold for a limited 2-week period, making it one of the most rewarding events in the game's history, well, at least for a moment. That's because shortly after, level 14 was announced, instantly devaluing all the progress players had just made. Ironically, newer players now had an easier path to level 14 than long-time maxed out veterans. The backlash was intense, as many felt Supercell had just straight up baited the community.
We have Slash Royale going on right now, which is an amazing event, right? It's starting to feel a little bit scammy.
We've announced Slash Royale after this. We just spent all of our gold on maxing out our decks that aren't even going to be maxed out anymore. It sounds like a huge scam, but I don't think they did that on purpose. I think it was just poorly planned.
While it looked like a cash grab at first, it was likely just poor planning on their part, especially since they quickly offered compensation. However, it's hard for players to just write this off as an honest mistake, because it's not the first time. Supercell has been pulling moves like this for years, and something this big doesn't just slip through the cracks. If it truly was unintentional, then it would have been caught and addressed immediately. Instead, it took massive backlash from the community and even criticism from Supercell's own partner creators, who are usually on board with their decisions, for them to finally respond. The downhill spiral only got worse, with the introduction of arena level gates, essentially locking progression behind your king level. This meant that no matter how well you played, you couldn't climb to the next arena unless your account hit a specific level. In practice, this turned arena progression into a paywall, since leveling up your king level becomes a slow grind without spending money. And ironically, if this change was really about preventing unfair matchups, it missed the mark entirely. Players could still face opponents with card levels 4 or even 5 tiers higher than theirs, as there was no card level caps per arena. Back then, high skill players weren't focused to spend a dime. Level 1 accounts could reach the top simply through raw skill. The game used to reward mastery and strategy, but now in a system that claims to be competitive and even supports a professional scene, it feels like those who pay are rewarded, while those who are genuinely good at the game are actively held back. This marked one of Clash Royale's lowest points, yet the pattern didn't stop. Less than 2 years after the controversial release of level 14, Supercell introduced level 15, once again paired with a Slash Royale event. Most players weren't ready, because no amount of grinding could realistically prepare them for yet another expensive level cap so soon. And when it comes to monetization, the Clash Royale team hasn't exactly been subtle. The shop is flooded with offer after offer, constantly nudging players to make in-app purchases. At times, the game almost implies that if you're not spending money, you're simply not good enough. People have even made videos breaking down just how far the monetization has gone, covering everything from permanent and special the result, a broken experience where strategy takes a backseat to pay-to-win mechanics. I know it's only a mobile game and it's not that serious, but there's a line between in-app purchases and completely scamming your entire player base. So while the Clash Royale devs were focused on finding every possible way to squeeze money out of players' pockets, the Clash of Clans team was actually working on fundamentally improving the game. In fact, over the past few years, we've seen so many incredible and genuinely beneficial updates in Clash of Clans that players could have only dreamed of just a few years ago. Starting in late 2023, the introduction of hero equipment revolutionized gameplay, allowing players to customize their heroes with unique attacks, boosts, and abilities that completely change how battles are approached. And remember how Clash Royale removed chests? It seems like they didn't vanish, they just changed games, because in September 2024, Clash of Clans launched treasure chests as part of the treasure hunt event. These chests contained loot, magic items, decorations, hero equipment, and most importantly, hero skins. Skins that once cost a fortune in gems were suddenly available for free, and that's the kind of update that shows just how much the Clash team cares. They knew they'd lose profit giving away premium content, but they did it anyway for the sake of the game and the players. And the generosity didn't stop there. Clash of Clans pulled off real-world collaborations no one expected, like the clashxchess.com crossover, which brought new skins and sceneries into the game. Then there was Clash X Team Trees and Team Seas, and of course the Clash X Holland events. All of this came along Spotlight Troop events, Super Troop Medal events, Hammer Jams, seasonal challenges, and constant community-focused updates. Content-wise, the game also saw major milestones. Town Hall 16 dropped during the 2023 Christmas update, and less than a year later, Town Hall 17 arrived with a fresh UI, tons of quality of life upgrades, and a brand new hero. Also, just recently, they tackled one of the longest standing frustrations in the game, army training time. With a new Clash Anytime feature, players can instantly train their armies and jump into battle, completely reshaping the pacing of gameplay to make it faster, more fun, and more accessible than ever before. But to be fair, just like its Royale counterpart, Clash of Clans has had its own share of missteps over the years. Some of the more notable ones include releasing too many hero equipment pieces in a short period of time, speeding up the Town Hall release cycle, making progression feel a bit rushed, and gradually lowering the overall value of the Gold Pass. But here's the key difference. All of these issues were acknowledged and addressed within days. Compensation was offered, explanations were given, and most importantly, players heard directly from the community managers, moderators, and developers. The team kept the community informed and involved. And what matters most, they learned. They took feedback, made changes, and continued improving. Something that, unfortunately, feels completely out of reach for the Clash Royale team right now. So what can we learn from all this? At the end of the day, both Clash Royale and Clash of Clans are built by the same company, but the difference in how they treat their communities couldn't be more obvious. Clash of Clans shows what happens when developers respect their player base, listen to feedback, and build updates around fun and longevity. Clash Royale, on the other hand, shows what happens when short-term profits become a lot more important than player trust. One is truly building a future, and the other is digging its own grave. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, you clearly care about these games as much as I do. So let me know what you think in the comments, especially if you've quit Clash Royale or switched over to Clash of Clans. Until next time, peace out and take care.